Spinning forever. All right, now we're live. It's the 8 a.m. Coffee Podcast. Good morning, Knoxville and beyond, overseas, all of it. It's me, Asher, and that's
Do we
Paul
have
over there.
overseas yet?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I can look today, though. We're tracking where people are listening from and downloading the podcast and everything. So, you know, these are words had people in Ukraine. So surely 8 a.m. Coffee has some listeners in Europe and, everywhere. So, hey, we've got
Yes.
a very special guest today. That's Ryan Reed right there in the middle. Ryan, what's going on?
Hey guys, good morning.
I,
I've been up for like 4 hours,
what
so
you,
this is great.
I heard about your morning habits recently,
Yeah.
and that's not the reason we wanted to have you on, but I want to know about this. What's going on there?
Well, I've got three little kids,
Uh-huh.
and I found that if I don't wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I will have no time to myself.
Gotcha.
So I started making myself wake up at 4:30 just to have like a couple hours just to myself, just to make coffee and watch Netflix shows that have bad words in them. So yeah, that's what that is, man.
I love it. What are you watching on Netflix right now?
Well, unfortunately, I'm still kind of searching because I just finished the third season of Ozark,
Oh, gotcha.
which was my go-to. But right now, I'm kind of waiting for something new, and I've already done the Tiger King thing, of course.
Yep,
So yeah,
I
It's
gotcha.
gold.
it's so good.
Did you finish the whole thing, Paul?
Oh yeah. They're releasing new episodes like in the next couple of weeks
That's what I've
Ooh,
heard.
because
this is
more
new
has happened
information.
since December. I'm so pumped.
Is it an update? Doesn't he have coronavirus?
He has the Rona, man.
Goodness gracious.
It's Carol Baskin's fault too.
Wow,
I'm
for
sorry.
sure.
It really is. I don't know. I don't know this woman, and I'm going purely on a one-sided documentary right now.
Sure.
But it's her fault.
Yeah,
Everything is her fault. I don't trust that woman at all.
yeah,
I still haven't watched, but I read the whole plot because that's what I do sometimes with shows now, which is really weird and it has upset a lot of my friends. Is that I'll get like 3 episodes into something and I'm like, I don't want to take the time to just sit and watch the rest of this, so I just read the Wikipedia
sure.
page. So
Nice, man.
it's a
That's a good thought. I don't know. The show has to be something special for me to sit there and like devote hours to.
sure like Ozark. Ozark is really good, by the
Ozark.
way, but I can't handle gore like what's in that show anymore.
Oh, is it
Right.
gory?
Some
It
parts
can be.
and it's
I
only a
haven't
little
watched
bit.
it at all. So
Yeah.
like I see everybody
It's
talking about it on the
Yeah,
internet, but I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, I like it. I don't know.
it's an
It's a
incredible
thing that I
show.
like.
Which is odd during this whole time. I've watched more TV than I think ever in my life.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Basically because I'm lazy right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ryan, you are, I would say, renowned in Knoxville. Not to blow too much smoke up your shorts, but as a
Wow.
photographer, I keep saying this on the podcast, but I went to like 7 weddings in a row over the span of like a year and a half, and you were
Dude,
shooting every one of them, and every picture was
that
great.
was such a good year.
It
That was
was.
such a good year. That's where I met Paul too. I met Paul that year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
he he took the single best picture that my wife did not take of me cooking. I
That's fun.
am like that that picture I have used to blow up all kinds of stuff. Like everybody's behind me like partying and
Yeah.
whatever, and then I'm just like
Yeah.
going to town on I don't know what it is. It you made me
Something
look good,
delicious.
and I'm
Something delicious. Yeah, yeah.
I
Thanks,
think we're
man.
making
Thank you
progress.
guys. Yeah, there was something good. It was nice. There was like smoke everywhere, and yeah, it was great, man. If you could only smell that photo and it'd be what it smelled like there.
Yeah. That's a great point. I
So
think
That was a
good.
good wedding.
if you can be developing that technology right now, like you'll be set. You'll have no problem
Yeah.
once the whole recession happens.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
have you seen my website?
I have not actually.
Yeah, no, when you go to it, then you can talk to me about building and developing technology. Why don't we work on my Wix application first? Okay.
Nice.
That's what we need to do.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
So
Yeah,
outside of
I love it.
outside of weddings though, man, you've been like at least personal. I don't know if I've seen it on your professional page or not. Your personal page, man, you've been doing some like really cool stuff occupying your time and all of this going on. I just pulled the Southern Corona, which is all of this,
Yeah, yeah.
and then all of
Yeah.
this going on. Yeah, no, but have you been doing that before right now? I mean, so a lot of times we get people on well, I mean, I don't think we get people on the show yet, but we will that have a lot of their passion is outside of what their professional career is. And with all three of us, what we do professionally, we are lucky enough to get paid for what we love to do. I'm assuming you love to take pictures right now.
I do.
And
I do, yeah.
photography. So it's something you do that you don't have to get paid for, right? Like you just
Yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah, I think that is definitely the coolest part about what I do. Is I literally cannot walk past something that has like good lighting and like not whip out my phone and take a photo. Like it is seriously, I will pull over on the side of the road to take a photo. And I get that from my mom, actually. When I was a kid, dude, there were so many times where we would be coming home from basketball practice or something like that. And my mom would like whip her car to the side of like South Knoxville Bridge to take a sunset photo of the city, and that was back before it was like whip your phone out. That was let me get my DSLR out and like, make sure everything's going good and take some photos. So I got that kind of eye, I think, from my mom at an early age. And because if I see a shadow in my house, dude, I'm like taking a photo of it. So
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, I love doing it, man. And on the other side, my dad he does lighting he has for the last 40 some years. He started out doing concert lighting for the Marshall Tucker Band.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, that was where my mom and dad met. And then he's transitioned into like television studio lighting. So he did all the HGTV shows and stuff like that locally in Knoxville. And now he works for this big company and he's about to retire. But so yeah, both sides of it, man. I just got the bug. So
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I'm not allowed to take pictures myself
yeah.
because I choose what we like to call horrible lighting. And I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. I can put an Instagram filter on it and I'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Sure.
So I equate sometimes people that take pictures and call themselves photographers as to people that cook food at home and call themselves chefs.
Sure.
Actually, one of my photographer friends and I had an ongoing trolling joke about that. So what are you doing in these times? Like are you are you doing any pictures like outside? I mean, of people, not of.
No, actually, like I'm kind of battling right now, man, with my creative insides because I want to be doing stuff because I have the time to do it. But honestly, I'm really enjoying time just hanging out at the house.
Yeah.
We got, like I said, we got 3 little kids and my wife and I are just kind of like, I don't know, just, we have like time together and it's not always like easy and like quiet and peaceful. But I've never been home with my family this long, ever. I haven't been home this long with my wife, even alone without the kids, ever for this long. So I'm trying to like cool off on the whole, like, hey, I have to be doing something creatively and I have to be, putting out like new content and I should be like trying to be innovative during this time, because I've seen a bunch of photographers be like super creative and innovative on this during this time. But for me, man, I am really trying to just kind of slow down and enjoy this time with the kids and my wife. And I've come up with a few ideas, but it's like, I don't know, I might as well just like put that to the side for now, because I thought about doing like this thing where I would like FaceTime friends and take a photo of me FaceTiming them, like just in their environment, and like, maybe do a small interview to go with it for the caption and just like what people are feeling right now. And I might still do that. I've actually reached out, if people are watching that I've reached out to, I'll come through with that one day. But so like there's things like that. But yeah, like I said, man, just for the most part, trying to do something that I've never done before, which is just kind of slow down.
Yeah, that's cool. I personally, I've enjoyed that as well. And just being like stuck here too has helped me, just sort of like move forward with things that I'd been thinking about as far as the studio and lessons and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really cool. What have y'all been doing like around the house, like as a family? Like what do you watch when the kids are up?
I was about to say really quickly that you're a much better father than I am, because I'm ready to go.
No, man,
So,
it's
like,
changes every minute.
You can be like, oh, I love all this time with them. I have enjoyed the time with them. I am now ready to enjoy time without them, and it is okay.
No doubt. No, there's definitely some truth in that. I mean, I think it was like, it's going in waves, because when it first hit, I was at home and I was like, man, this is so great. Like, and then you definitely hit that wall where you're like, you look at, like, my wife stays home with the kids all the time. And I looked at her and I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and it's like the kids suck, and like, they're not even cute. They're not even cute anymore, and it's just like, nothing's funny. But then you have those moments where it's like the kid does something that you've never seen them do before because you're not around enough. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. And so it's definitely gone in waves and it's brought my wife and I closer together, because we're literally having to team up like an army to like get this stuff done, So, to kind of answer your question, we just, my wife just sat down and like drew this like clock thing that was going to be up on the fridge for the kids. And we're trying to put a little bit more of a schedule into our day-to-day life, because before it was so, on Mondays this is what it was like, and on Tuesdays this is what it was like, and I think our kids thrive in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
So we're trying right now to like add some structure to our day. So but it's a lot of them like hanging out on their Amazon Fires and playing video games, and a lot of Disney Plus going on. Lots of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I'm not watching the adult movies, it's for sure. Onward is a big one right now. That's a good new one that we saw. But always Moana and always Frozen, just on repeat.
Yeah. So again, you're much nicer than I am. Part of our scheduled day is after they go to bed, completely talking trash about them.
Yeah.
To each other and going, are they really this unintelligent? Like, I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
But for real. And secondly, so we've got a couple of them, and I don't know how old your kids are, but we've got a couple of them in that phase that they just think they're funny all the time.
Yeah.
And they're not. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
For sure.
I just had to, I had to get that off my chest, and I had to say it while my wife was outside and did not hear it live, and she can talk to me about it later.
Yeah, sure.
But I know I'm not alone on this. So
no, you're not.
Do you feel better?
You're not.
Too?
It's.
Do I feel?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's just going to happen again today. Yeah. No, I'm joking. My kids are wonderful.
Yeah. No, sometimes we lie to them and say it's bedtime when it's really hours before it should be bedtime,
Sure.
and just just to be like, hey, go get out of here, you know? Yeah. No, I had a win the other day, and I posted it on the Instagram where, you know, we had one day where my oldest son, who is 7, his name's Joa, and he was just terrible. I mean, like he's very high energy. All of our kids are very high energy. And so they need a lot of stuff to fill their schedule for them to even function. But he just like, I don't know, he was being like overly selfish and just crazy. And we had to like, you know, have those hard talks with them. And the next day, you know, he was like, you know, Dad, I really appreciate like you talking to me. And I really, you know, he like came up to me like a grown man and like drew pictures for me. And one of the things I posted was like, he just wrote, I love you, and drew a picture of me. And it's like on my fridge.
Oh man.
And I'm just like, man, it's so, yeah. So Paul, I
heart.
feel you, because it's ridiculous. And my kids can actually suck so bad, but there's definitely the wave, you know, up and down. So
That's so sweet.
I know.
Hey, you said something earlier that I actually made me very exciting. Made me very excited.
Exciting
Wow.
is a
Again,
word for sure.
this 17th day in a row, I can't use a word right. Hello, children. Oh, I love you so much. I'm glad you're
Like a
home.
parade back there.
Oh,
Oh, there's more.
the 13-year-old. But it made me excited because you said, I see something on the side of the road and I get my iPhone out. Talk to me about what 2-3 tips that you can give the novice, like, I don't take pictures professionally, but I want a decent picture, just tip.
Oh man.
I want to be able to
okay.
put it on the gram.
Okay. So the thing that I talked about earlier is the contrast between light and shadow. Okay. So anytime you see that, and it's only at a certain time of day usually. But if you see that anywhere, you can picture it in a square for the Instagram and just play around with the different angles. Take a photo of it straight up and down. And I'm a big symmetry fan. So try to make something symmetrical out of whatever you see. And then whenever I go into like editing a photo, I will play around with like making it really dark and moody, and see what that does. And then also, try the opposite of that, and make it really bright and see what that does, and just see whatever you like and then post it. And that's about it, man. I don't even know.
I make all my photos moody. I just need everyone to know that.
I love that. I'm really into the dark and moody right now.
I like that you can make it sound so simple too. Like I feel like that's a like a creative person who's really good at their craft can make it sound like, it's just not a big deal. Not that it's simple, but it's just like here's what you do with it,
Yeah, it is. To me, it's like, I don't know. I don't ever want to squander anyone's like their eye, because I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. I do try to kind of oversimplify it just because I don't want anyone to be like overthinking their photo,
Right.
So that's kind of why I do that, I think.
And Paul mentioned iPhone. Are you shooting on iPhone, like as far as a phone camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do have like a DSLR, but some of the recent posts that I did, with my buddy out in the woods, that was on a DSLR. But most of the stuff that I do that's like from my house, of my kids or stuff like that, that will be all on iPhone.
Yeah.
Just because it's quick and easy. I don't want to have to shoot it and then put it on my computer and have to go through all that and then, email it to me and post it, all that.
Right,
I like the quick and easy stuff. So
yeah. Well, I mentioned that because I keep hearing that like the iPhone 11 is like it has such a good camera or set of cameras, because it looks like there's 3 on here. So And somebody,
Yeah.
another photographer that I know, I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned that they're switching to the iPhone just for that purpose, like for the quick and easy like shots where they're not setting up and everything. So that's crazy. I
Yeah.
remember when digital cameras were like, hey, we've got 6 megapixels now.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah,
good one
exactly.
for like 200
Exactly.
bucks or something.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. The iPhone's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched a few videos, and I think one of the things I really liked about what a photographer said was the best camera you have is the one on you at the time.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember it wasn't verbatim, but it was like, don't miss the moment because of your equipment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, whatever you have on you, I guarantee you, if you have an iPhone 7 or higher, it's going to be okay. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're putting it on a billboard,
Sure.
you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Little known fact about me that you don't know, Asher, is my original plan in life was to be a photographer.
I did not know
I
that.
actually went to the Art
That's
Institute
amazing.
of Atlanta for a grand total of 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and hated every minute of it, and then got my degree, and then came back and went to UT. But I was there in the summer. But I have here's some impressive. I hope some impressive equipment for you. I have like an FM2, like I have a Nikon FM2, and then I have like 4x5 sheets, like old school like film. And I worked at a place called Thompson Photo Products.
Oh yeah.
High school.
That's a great
For about another
place.
6 weeks. It was horrible. I love them, Ed and all them. They're great people. Like, I know they're not doing much now. But I did find they did have black and white film. So I found like random black and white film. They told me it would take like 6 to 8 weeks to get it developed though.
Right.
And they actually said, if you just have a digital camera, you can just plug it into your computer and turn it into black and white. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
I think you guys are just done. You're just waiting to die.
Oh gosh.
To turn this off.
I was wanting to ask you about that, Ryan, because like in the music world, there's this whole debate between like digital versus analog, and one sounds better, and all this guitar stuff keeps coming out, and more guitarists that I know are using it, and it's completely digital. Like there's no speaker, there's no tubes and fuses and stuff. Like what is that like in the photography world? Like is there a hot debate between like using that old stuff versus like, I'm just gonna shoot with my phone?
Yeah, sure. I honestly don't think I'm the one to ask this question to, because
that's fine.
I am so like I said before, I'm so like for just shooting.
Just whatever.
Yeah, I am not at all a geek when it comes to photography.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it's because I'm lazy and I don't want to learn all about everything, out there.
Are you lazy, or
our
are
good
you
buddy Tyler
efficient?
Stooksbury.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention.
I don't know. Stooks, man, he is so amazing when it comes to really anything that he's into, because it's like he dives so deep into it.
Yeah.
I am not that way at all. I am like, hey, I want to shoot whatever. Like I tried to get into film, like shooting film.
Yeah.
And me and Ryan Daly and Stooks, we were all working together, and we all got into it heavy, and I dropped out early. I was the first one to drop out of that game. A, because it's expensive, and B, because it's that same thing I talked about, between shooting and seeing it and getting it out there. It was just too long for me. I just was like, I don't know, man. And it was expensive too,
Yeah.
So,
sure.
But Stooks is still going, man. He's still he's way gone. And so I don't know. I am kind of the opposite of you, Paul. I did not want to be a photographer. I did not really I didn't know what I wanted to be. So I didn't go anywhere after high school. I just kind of went to get a job wherever I could. And at that time I was my first job was a custodian. And I will go back because I haven't deleted any photos from my Instagram since the beginning.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes go back, and there are photos that I've taken that are of me pushing a trash can, or the shadow on the tile where I just like cleaned or something like
Nice.
that. So I think it was always there, but I didn't know how to be that professionally, you know. I was like, I don't know the road to this at all. So I just kind of landed into it whenever we had our first kid. I got a nicer camera. You know, I found like a older Canon digital camera on Craigslist, and I started shooting photos of my son, and then I had a friend see it on Instagram or on Facebook, and they're like, "Hey, will you shoot our wedding?" And I was like, "What?" Like, I don't know anything about that at all. And but then I did it, and that's kind of where it all kind of started. So I totally say that I fell into this game, and still feel like I'm kind of falling because I'm not like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the guy who's like, oh, you need this and this and this. And I kind of just have my favorites because I'm comfortable with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Not like a
you know,
gearhead.
yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
Speaking of gear, though, I've noticed at weddings they have, and I love this trend. I'm just going to go ahead and say this, but they have started collecting people's cell phones
yeah,
before they go to the ceremony.
yeah,
And they're like, look, we hired a videographer and a photographer. You don't
yeah.
need to put it, you don't need to have your phone out. Please
Right.
put it away. And like legitimately taking that. I saw a bride that, or not a bride, but
Yeah,
Wedding
coordinator.
planner? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that person. Straight up told some lady said, no, I'm not giving my phone up. And she said, are you a medical professional or somebody in emergency field?
what?
And they said, no, I'm just the bride's aunt. And she said, well, either you put your phone here or you don't come in. I don't
Yep.
care which.
Yeah,
And it was like
serious, man.
flat out. And I was like, thank you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you
it's so-
from the
it's
bottom
so
of my
serious.
heart so much. And because, I mean, like, it sometimes turns into the social media world where it's selfish and I want what I'm getting right now
Yeah.
without thinking of, hey, this person just paid thousands of dollars. By the way, and we talk about catering with weddings. I say it's pointless. I say food at a wedding is pointless. Spend more money on your photographer. I say this all the time.
Wow. Thank you.
Well, because that's going to last forever.
What about your band,
Sure.
by the way, Paul? Come on.
Band. Sorry.
No,
Does
everyone.
anybody
Fly band.
have band
No,
anymore?
man, everyone's gonna forget the band too. Like I have played a couple that were really memorable, but yeah, I say make it
Sure.
quick and easy and get a
Bring
DJ.
back the weddings.
Yeah.
I don't like loading in for weddings. What did you say, Paul?
Yeah. Sure.
Bring back the wedding singer. Like,
Yeah.
See, that would be
Yeah.
a blast. Live,
I'm for that.
yeah.
I would love to go to, if anybody's getting married, please, please, please get a band. Forget the photographer. They're pointless as well. All jokes aside, you've got
awesome.
family coming with their iPhone 11s.
Right.
They're good. Like, no. I mean, no. In all seriousness, a band at a
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah. I know.
Remember.
Yeah, no, I'm for the putting the phones up, and I think more than anything, it's because you don't want to see my photo. You know, I don't want to see someone holding up their camera and taking photos of it. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that's the most frustrating part is like they'll get their photos back, and 90% of their family and friends are like taking photos, and so I don't know, it's just kind of a weird, it takes you out of the moment type thing. Yeah, it's funny though, like you said, the wedding coordinator who's like is like a boss about it. I think that's the way to go, because you try to do these like cutesy signs, and no one really, you look kind of right past that, and you don't take it as serious as like someone saying, hey, put your phone in a basket.
Yeah, and she wasn't like a family member doing it. Like, she was a paid professional. I know nobody here, so I don't care if I hurt your feelings
That's
kind of
the best.
person. And I'm like, yes, I love you so much.
Oh yeah, I think I like that, man. I am totally for that.
I really want to know where you were a custodian, and I'll tell you a quick story before you tell us.
Okay.
You know Alex Diefendorfer.
I love
He
him.
he and I were both maintenance workers slash janitors at a church
Yeah.
years and years ago. He got me the job there, and we did
Oh my gosh.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. We avoided our boss all day. It
I
was at
think
this.
I think we've talked about this. Like, I think me and Diefenderfer have talked about this before
Yeah, yeah. I'm
because we found that we were pretty much the same person. Me and Diefenderfer had, whenever we used to share an office actually, and we did this thing where it was like, hey, what channel on regular cable was ESPN when you were a kid? And we'd be like 14, and we'd be like, oh my gosh, we had the same. Like, we did that for every channel you could ever think of. And we found that we really would have been best friends if we'd known each other a long time ago.
right.
But
Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I was a janitor at a church too.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the Southern Baptist Church that I grew up at is where I was a custodian. And I prefer custodial engineer,
There you go.
just because it looks better on resumes. But
Listen, my mom was a janitor for like 36 years. Like trust me,
That's amazing.
she did all right.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, it was great. I worked there for like 3 years, and it was like the first 3 years of my marriage. And
Yeah.
they basically told me like, hey, we can't pay you any more money, any more than like $11 an hour or something like that. And so, we want to help you basically get out of this job and do something else. And so at the same time, I had another friend who was a chiropractor, and she was like, hey, we need somebody to do basically be at the mall and hand out flyers. And for some reason that sounded better to me than just walking around an empty church and like taking photos of trash cans with my phone. But so I did that and took like a huge cut in pay because there was a chance for, commission or whatever.
Right.
But I am the world's worst salesman ever. I don't even know what's wrong with me. I can't. Like, I get anxiety when I think about coupon books and stuff like that. Whenever
Gotcha.
I was a kid, having to sell those, I was the worst. So I, for some reason, was like, I'm going to go into sales. And so I did. And that, long story short, that kind of got me to my professional career because I that went from that to building a studio and recording health episodes for an online audience. So that was a wild ride. But yeah, man, being a janitor is good for everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like being a waiter. Everyone should be a waiter at some point,
Right. Wait, can we still still access these health and wellness videos? Are they for sale somewhere?
So I think you have to be like a subscriber.
Okay.
And it's probably way too much money. But yeah, I was a one-man band, dude. I did everything. And yeah, I basically got them up and going, and then they fired me. So it was weird, but yeah, they were great. It was called Unhealthy Anonymous.
Gotcha.
It surely to God, it's not there anymore. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was whatever.
I'm sure with the nature of the internet, we can find something on it.
Yeah. There's I've actually seen on YouTube, there's ripped versions of it. So the color is all cruddy and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
And you get these little snippets. I think it's the free, here's the YouTube, preview so that you sign up and get you excited about it. But it's totally ripped off. So I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the many, many different jobs I had before getting to a church job, which I had for 7 years, and now doing my own thing with a studio.
Yeah.
But I did sales as well with Cutco. Have you all ever heard of Cutco before?
There was a Cutco salesman in Epcot. Yes, go.
Wait, are they allowed to do that?
I don't know, but I have pictures of it on my phone of them selling Cutco at the International Food and Wine Festival in Epcot, Disney World. Yes.
Seems dangerous too, by the way, because the whole thing is you're demonstrating how to use kitchen knives. So
oh my God, that's amazing.
Are they just out and about with you know, the trimmer and the table knife and the butcher knife or whatever.
Love how you actually know what, like, you have like actual names for them. This is great.
I could still give you the whole spiel. The trimmer was the dishwasher knife because it was always in your dishwasher. You're using it all the time. It's $46. Or if you got the whole block, if you got the whole block, it was $900.
What a deal!
What a deal! What a deal!
What a deal! Let me buy the $900 set because I'm going to use the one knife.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
that's what happened.
That
like,
is amazing.
I got anxiety doing that as well, Ryan, just because like I'm not a great salesman. I think I could fake it now and probably have a lot of fun with it. But at the time, I mean, this was, 12 years ago probably. I made some good money too. I made about $1,000 in 2 months, and then just ran out of people to try and sell kitchen cutlery too. So I got a bunch of really good knives out of it. So I'm cool.
That's awesome. That's so great. I wish I would have known you 12 years ago, because my wife and I just this past Christmas, my mom and my dad got us our first actual real knife set for our kitchen, because we had people, our friends, come over and they would like be helping us prepare, and they'd be like, "Where the hell are your knives?" And we just would hand them like a steak knife, and that they would be so disappointed in us. And so I remember like my mom was like, "Is there anything you guys need?" I was like, "Yes, please get us a knife set." So we had our first knife set. It's nothing. It's nothing. I don't even know what it is.
Was it Hinkles?
It's not Hinkles. I will.
What is it? What does the logo look like?
The logo, I feel like it's kind of like a stick figure guy.
Those are Hinkles.
What?
Yeah, those are J. Hinkles. Yes.
Is that good?
It depends on where they got them. I mean, they have different. Yeah, it's just like I say it's crazy. It's just like soccer cleats. Like the ones you buy at Academy are not the ones you buy at like the high end store. Yeah. They look the same, but they don't quote unquote necessarily perform the same, even though they do. They're just made out of metals, is all it is.
Okay, I'll have to look after the show, and I'll message you guys, because I want to say it's not what you're saying, but maybe it is.
I can't believe we got here. This is my favorite thing that's happened so far.
This is why we don't have a plan right here.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to list my assets for something. Don't ask. But just to be passive aggressive, my number one asset was an $1,800 knife. Like, that's the first thing I put. The first line was, and the name of the knife is like this long, because it's a Japanese knife.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. That's incredible.
And I don't even have it anymore, but it was worth putting on there just to say I have that asset. So if you're listening, that's why it's there. Anyways, 4 people.
Oh, hey.
4 people don't.
Kayla Reed just said Emojoy is what it is.
Emojoy. Yeah, it's not Emojoy. That's not what you guys said, and I don't think anyone's gonna know what that is. But Emojoy.
It looks like Emo Joy, which is the most oxymoronic combination of words I've ever heard.
Yeah, man, it's from the early 2000s, sometime in there.
That's when emo.
I don't know where
at its peak. I know. Emo Joy.
That's.
Makes
yeah, man. Sense. So I should have told her not to say anything, and that you guys could have thought I had like a cool knife set.
Yeah.
But
is that what they are? What
Emo
are they?
Joy. Emo Joy.
Now, so listen, I'm very much, but hold on, go back to cameras real quick. It's not necessarily the camera.
Sure.
It's the person using it.
Right.
So, like, don't get caught up in that. I've seen.
I wasn't until just now.
High-level professional chefs. Look, I've walked into kitchens and just been like, all right, give me a Walmart set of knives. I'm good. Like, I can handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't worry. Like, I'm screaming on the inside a little bit, but I mean, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't have the Rona. It's fine.
Yeah.
Is that you, Rona?
even though I've
Bro.
coughed every day on this show.
That's just the nature of like talking in the morning, unless you've already been up for like 4 hours. I think that makes it a little
Yeah,
easier.
my coughing was done previously.
So you got knives. So
Yeah.
What other kitchen equipment do you have that is like your go-to? Like, what is your go-to meal? I really want to start asking this question of
Oh,
everyone.
man.
That's a good
What
one.
is your go-to? Like, I'm gonna cook this for either my family or myself or people coming over, and it's unbelievably great,
Okay.
and I make it better than anybody. Let's go.
Okay. So I am definitely not the primary cook in the household, but I'm more of a breakfast guy. So breakfast is always like avocado toast and fried eggs. And I'm the only breakfast person in my family. So I usually get to enjoy that by myself. But then my wife makes this stuff we call it crack chicken. And because it's so good. I've never tried crack, but I've heard that it's really good.
You've heard it's a lot like this chicken.
Not like good for you. It's a lot like this chicken on here. And so it's got all these saucy seasonings and you put it over spaghetti and it's in the crock pot for 8 hours. It's got like this white cream sauce on it. And so that is probably our go-to for like, hey, we have people coming over and we want to blow their minds. My wife does that and it's so good. I have another go-to that is whenever I'm at the house by myself, and I go back to like being 12 years old, and it's like a 12-inch tortilla on a plate with some shredded cheese on it in the microwave for 30 seconds with some hot sauce and roll it up. And it's my cheesy roll up go-to. That is like the most nostalgic thing that I have that I continue is just making cheesy roll-ups, and it's the best thing ever.
And
And sometimes
Taco Bell
I have that. Yeah,
is trying to charge $1 per cheesy roll up.
I know, man.
You're
But
doing it right.
I will say well, yeah, $1 way too much because mine is like 3 times the size of that,
Right.
and it's like way better.
Yeah.
They don't. It's like, yeah, that's a sorry excuse for a cheesy roll up, but so those are my 3 go-tos, Paul.
I love it. So I guess to come from more my angle, what would be your go-to song? Like, is there a song that gets you like hyped to get to work, like editing or anything like that?
Okay.
Or just hype in general?
I would not say it's a song,
Okay.
a specific song,
Or band?
but there's a band that everybody knows this band, but it took me almost 30 years to realize that this was one of the greatest bands ever, and that is the band Toto.
Come on.
Okay. Everyone knows the Africa song, and that's a great one.
But
I think I was leaving a photo shoot one day, and I was in a rental van with all my gear in it. And whenever I get a rental van, you always like drive way harder and like turn the music up way louder than normal because you don't care. So I was doing that.
100%.
I just had this. I don't even know what playlist was on, but I had this playlist on my iPhone, and I just pushed play, and I think it was like the second or third song on it. I wasn't looking at my screen, and I just heard. I can't remember the song. I'll need to find it. It was one of the most badass songs I've ever heard, and I looked at my phone and it said Toto, and I was seriously shocked. And I think from that point on, if I'm where there's like or trying to get pumped up for whatever, it's Toto every time. So, and that's recent, dude. If you would ask me that question like a few months ago, I would have no idea because I'm not really like this is my favorite band, favorite song kind of guy. I don't know why, but yeah, that's perfect right now because it's Toto all day, every day.
I love it. Was it Hold the Line by chance?
Yeah, that's the one.
Nice.
Dude, that is seriously one of the grooviest songs I've listened to in a long time.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
Seriously. I love it so much.
Well, what if
Hold the line.
what about your like 14, 15, 16-year-old self? How would you have answered that question at that age?
Okay. Oh man.
Mine was all death metal at that point. I was coming out of like CCM, like
Yeah.
gospel music, top 40
Yeah.
on the radio, and then I was like, yeah, death metal. This is great.
Yeah.
Early '90s
I know-
gangster rap.
Oh yeah. That's so good. I don't know. I never we never as kids listened to like the radio, mainstream radio, because my mom was like, she thought it was just like there was nothing good out there.
Oh, gotcha.
So we always were, we were big into listening to like classic, just classic rock type stuff.
Yeah.
If there was going to be anything on the radio. So at that age though, I probably had, I had recently discovered like Led Zeppelin and, the Beatles really a lot, AC/DC, like that kind of thing. So like whenever I was 13 is when I started playing drums. And so
I didn't know
it
you
was,
played drums.
Dude, I've played drums. Wow. Since I was 13 and I'm 30.
No, wait.
So-
you were like the guy at Ignition.
Yeah. I was the drummer at Ignition
Yeah.
forever.
It's all coming back together.
Yeah.
Okay. Every
Yeah.
Ryan and Stooks and everyone who's ever worked at Chambers has played drums and guitar and
Yes.
has
I
been
know,
really
dude.
good at
We
all of it.
literally, that's how I met a lot of you guys.
Yeah.
Was through that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm actually sitting I don't have them set up, but I'm actually sitting at
Yeah.
my drums right now
Nice.
in my son's room. He's so mad at me for putting them in here. But so yeah, I remember like my first like talent show thing where I was gonna play drums in front of my friends. We played Back in Black by AC/DC.
Nice.
And so I would say that is like classic rock was everything whenever I was at that age.
Right. Yeah. I think the reason I forgot to is because I think of you so much now as like you're the go-to like photography guy in my mind, and
Thanks, man.
well even like Diefendorfer, it's like he in my mind now is that, and I don't think of him as much as a guitarist anymore, but he's an amazing guitarist too. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
not
I've
my
heard, man.
first thought. So yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, man, I've been playing drums for a while.
Yeah.
It's that's what I wanted to be whenever I was, out of high school. It's like, I told myself that I was going to go to Nashville and be a drummer.
Yeah.
And I never put one step forward in that at all. But that was the only thing that I knew I wanted to do something, that was not, 9 to 5 type thing.
Absolutely.
But and that was the only thing that was like right in front of me at the time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a similar thought, and obviously didn't pursue it much beyond what I'm about to tell you, but I did take a lesson from Brad Paisley's drummer, Ben Caesar, who like it was cool. Like it was $60 for like an hour-long lesson, which is not a terrible rate for somebody who's basically famous as a
Was that in person
drummer.
or?
It was in person. Yeah, I went to his house, and he had like 100 snares around the ceiling
that's awesome.
shelf or whatever. But to be honest with you, the lesson was not great because he talked the whole time. He never stopped playing on his practice pad. It was just like,
oh yeah.
He was like, man, you need to move to Nashville. You need to move to LA, New York, somewhere. You need to like be in the music business. And I was like, dude, I don't even know if that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
He was like on.
Yeah.
He was on cocaine or something. I don't think he actually was. Like, he talked like a mile a minute. So that's as
Was
much.
that where was that in Nashville?
It was in Nashville.
Or-
Yeah, it was like right outside of the city. He's got a house over there. So
Okay.
crazy dude. He's a crazy.
That's pretty
person.
cool, man. I did lessons like once, and it was at what was that place locally? Was it Lunsford's or something like that?
Lunsford's- Yeah, I took lessons there too.
Yeah, and it was not because I think I'm like this for most things I'm discovering. It's like I just want to dive in and figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want the and this is not always the best thing, but I don't necessarily want to take the time immediately to like know the history about something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to dive in and learn a lot myself, and then where I come up short and when I have questions, that's when I want to go to somebody and be like, hey, what's this about? And so with drums, it was like I knew I wanted to like learn cool grooves,
Right.
but I didn't want to learn how to like hold the sticks the right way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't want to go and like it's going to be weeks and weeks and weeks until I'm actually playing on a drum set. I don't want to be on a practice pad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's similar too in photography. I thought like it took me forever to jump in as heavy as I am right now because I thought there was a right way. And if my screen's getting really bright.
It's a glow
I thought
up.
there was a like a right and wrong way of doing things. So I didn't do anything with it when I really should have just like started immediately.
Sure.
So, yeah, but yeah, Lunsford's, man, it was like one long stick holding lesson, and that was about it.
Oh, gotcha.
Not to sound, is that a Midland, Texas shirt?
It's a Midland, the band Midland.
Never mind.
From Midland. Well, they're from Texas, and they named it Midland from that.
Oh,
I don't know where to put my phone.
I went to Trinity Elementary School in 3rd grade in Midland. That's why I was asking.
Whoa,
That's amazing. I'm going to turn the lights on and shut the window.
You did look angelic there for a second. How's my lighting, by the way? This is all like on the right side of my face because I didn't turn enough lights on over there. So I'm just like, you don't have to rate it.
I think it's fine
because I know. Yeah, that's what I expected. It's fine. It's just fine.
That's good. It's good.
It's fine, buddy.
What, buddy? If you end the sentence with buddy, that makes me feel better. Man, I was gonna say too, like lessons like that, they suck. I never do that. My teacher at Lunsford's was really cool to start me out on the whole kit, and that's what I always do with students now. And it's like, man, you're gonna have so much more fun if you just sit down and like jam out for a minute, and we'll get to technique later. Like I'll tell you how to hold the stick and not get arthritis in 20 years and all that. We'll do that later.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've done a few lessons. One where it was actually like paid, but that's what I did. I was like, hey man, I'm going to teach you how to like do a groove that you can do over and over and over again, because that way you'll still love the drums, you know?
Right.
And then we can learn all that stuff later.
Yeah.
I'm like, you'll have to hire someone who actually knows the stuff after I get you to this point. But yeah, because that's how I was, man. I think my drum set, whenever I got it, came with the DVD on how to set them up, how to tune them, and how to play the backbeat.
Right.
And I was like, I loved it so much. And I just like would play the backbeat all the time, you know?
Right.
Because that's like a good foundation for everything. So, but that's awesome, and I love that you do those lessons and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not good at tuning either. Like I tell students straight up when they ask me about it, I'm like, man, we can sit here for about 10 minutes and I'll get it where it needs to be, but I am not good at this. So,
just whatever sounds the best for me.
Sure,
you know.
Sure.
I gotta have fat toms. That's all I care about. Fat toms.
Just put moon gels on. If they sound bad, just put moon gels on them. That's what I say.
Dude, so many moon gels.
And so right now, something that Paul and I keep talking about doing is I'm going to teach him just a little bit on guitar, like throughout, the next weeks as we are quarantined, and he's going to teach me a little bit of American Sign Language. So, Paul, what's the update on that?
On the guitar?
I know A, by the way.
B. C, D, E, F, G, H.
See, I get stuck after D.
I think this is R. Y.
But here's what I never have understood is this is R and this is X. But R is crossed like an X and X looks like an R.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Please explain that to me. I don't know.
That's like the English language, though. Man, half the English language doesn't make any sense.
So the cool thing is we're doing all these YouTube videos with the kids on sign language, which I have yet to send Asher a link for, so he's way behind. It's true. So like when people talk about finger spelling, I actually, if you figure out the alphabet, that's the first step. And then the second thing is, hey, whatever it is.
See, I'm like Ryan though. I'm bored with the alphabet and sign language already. I
So,
want to learn like how to, cuss people out or
Yeah.
whatever.
so,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
I start with the word at, right? Because there's a lot of finger motion and going that way,
Too
right?
fast. It's too fast.
And then we just add a letter, right?
Okay.
So B, bat,
Bad.
cat, dat, eat,
Mm.
bat. So we do that first, because when you're finger spelling, you're not going, okay, I'm trying to spell a word, and then you're going through all the letter. Like
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
Right.
And then the second thing is I teach people how to watch Wheel of Fortune. And I know it sounds crazy, because when you're finger spelling, you're just trying to catch certain letters and the up down motion and figure it out.
Right.
So that's really all you're doing.
That's
so
like the
if
Rosetta Stone of ASL.
well, there you go, Rosetta Stone. There's no sign for Rosetta Stone, so you have to finger spell it. So it's like no one sees
Got
that,
it. Right.
right? Right?
You're correct.
No one knows that. But they know this is this, and then OSETTA, right? Like, all right, okay, I get the hand motion. All right, I see the T's and the R, and I know there's a vowel in there. Let me put it together, right? Because then if you don't catch it, you can say, "What's that again?" So they just finger spell again.
Nice.
Yeah. Hence, I do know all the curse words. Yes, my father was nice enough to teach them all to me. I actually learned a new one the other day, but
Really?
That's awesome.
it's great. It's crazy though. We've talked about our kids and all this other stuff. Asher, how are the dogs?
The dogs are my kids. They're good. They were not excited to go from outside this morning back into their crates or, into their crates at all. But they're about to get back out, and we'll just play until it rains. So,
Do they spend a
Nice.
lot of time outside? Like a whole lot of time outside?
dude, especially right now, like we were outside all day yesterday. I had my computer out there with an extension cord, and I was just like editing videos and, doing all my stuff out there. So,
Because you guys have a fenced-in yard, which I can imagine just letting them run free is the way to go.
mhm.
Yeah.
The dogs, like, yeah. Do you have dogs, Ryan? You have animals?
No, I've got 2 cats. I
Nice.
grew up with dogs. I grew up with dogs and cats, but
Yeah.
we, dude, if we threw a dog into the mix, I mean,
A little crazy.
I think it would be insane. As much as I want a dog,
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a dog.
Right.
But I sometimes have told people I would rather have another human child than have a dog, because I feel like dogs just kind of stay at like that hard age of having a kid
Yeah.
forever. they're never gonna pick up their own poop.
What?
They're just never gonna do that.
What
That's
age
true.
child would you like to have currently?
That's
That's what I want to know.
Like 4.
I don't know, man. Honestly,
I'm telling
I
you.
don't know.
Listen, the heartache of having teenagers in their mouth
Oh yeah.
definitely does not outweigh the amount that they help. I'm
Sure.
just going to be honest with you.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
Sure.
and I know
I
she
feel
can
like
hear
my
me right
7
now.
and 4-year-old have mouths like teenagers sometimes. So we have we try to be as free as possible in our household, and sometimes that bites us in the butt.
Mm.
So yeah, there's too much freedom here. But yeah, dogs, man, they I don't ever have to wake up at like, whatever time to take my dog or to take my kid outside.
Right.
In the morning to go poop, and then have to pick it up with a bag. They're progressing. They're like, my oldest can actually poop on his own, and I'm not even involved at all. So that's why I don't think I want dogs right now.
Yeah.
By the way, Don Richardson just said, "Have you heard Asher's mouth?" I keep it pretty tame for the podcast. I think-
Actually, I don't think either of us, is something that Ashley and I spoke about yesterday, is that neither of us have actually cursed on the air, and that
Yeah.
if somehow, and I am spamming Gary Vaynerchuk like crazy to get him on the show. If somehow he gets on the show, we are going to have to remove the limited language barrier on this thing.
Yeah, I'd have to hit
It is
the
just going to be
explicit
like whatever.
tag on the podcast tag. So
I may have to record it and then
That's amazing.
post it.
we'll be like, yeah,
And just
we're live.
bleep
We're
out
live.
what I say. Just beep me. So
Yeah. Yeah, we let the language fly sometimes in our house.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Don
we wait till the kids go to bed. So
Don also said
Yeah.
cursing is so fun. It was so hard to not swear on the show. I think for me,
Was Don on the show?
he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's
I
before
gotta
we
go
were
back
doing
and
the
watch that.
Facebook page. We were just doing it on.
Okay. Yeah, I needed to see that or listen to it somehow.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Don.
I made an Instagram post about how I missed my barber yesterday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my wife actually said, "I miss your barber too." And I was like,
Yeah.
"No, you miss what my barber does."
Oh no. Hey, I think it's just me on the live feed, so we're gonna try and get everybody back.